Welcome to the Athena Wellness Podcast, the show that invites you to take a seat around the community fire and listen to stories that inspire. I'm your host, Kathy Robinson, author, coach, and founder of Athena Wellness, a company that's dedicated to supporting you on your journey to live more wholeheartedly. Hello, and welcome to episode 108. Thanks so much for joining me for this shortened Wellness Wednesday episode, a little midweek boost to help keep your warrior vibe high. Today I'm joined once again by drummer, singer, and songwriter Tedi Brunetti. During this discussion, Tedi gives us a glimpse into her creative process. And now on to the show. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Once again, I'm joined by musician and songwriter Tedi Brunetti. Welcome back, Tedi.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'd love to explore your songwriting process and your creative process. How did you write the songs for this last album, and how has your process changed over the years, or has it?
Well, I started writing songs the second I picked up a guitar, but and so you got to write a lot of bad songs. And then nowadays, this is how I do it. I'm not really prolific. I write out of necessity. If I'm not going to be recording it, I usually don't write it. And I learned to write songs at ASCAP and at the Songwriters Guild in New York City. And that was an experience because I brought songs in then. I had a band in New York then, and I was writing and we were playing my songs, and I would bring my songs in and they would critique them. And that's a punch in the face. But I learned quickly because that didn't feel good. And writing and rewriting. And the method that I use is much like the Tin Pan Alley songwriters. I write from titles. Songwriting, I've gone and looked at other how they're teaching songwriting nowadays. It's much different. It's much different. So it's blues-based music, what I write. Nothing too sophisticated, maybe with a little jazz influence in there as far as groove and feel and chord progressions, maybe. That's about as far out as I get. Every once in a while, a line will come up or I'll think of something and I'll make a note of it in my phone and then I'll write it down, and I have a bin that I have, different lines and different titles, and I have song titles. And when I sit down to write, I normally have a title that I'm going to write, a song that I'm going to write. And I'll sit down and I go, what I do is I look through this bin. This is lyrically. Sometimes I've written songs where I started with because I studied bass too, so I can play bass. I'm not much of a bass player nowadays at all. I'm a drummer. And my guitar playing really stinks, but I'm married to a guitar player, so I squirm something out on the guitar. This is it. And I teach it to my husband and he can play it properly. So sometimes I start with music. Sometimes I start with lyrics. It just depends.
But the title gives you the feel.
Yeah. And it gives me the focus.
Okay.
It gives you the focus of what you're writing about. And I'll go through that bin and I'll just read all the little scraps of paper and the song lines, and every once in a while something will apply. I'll go, oh yeah, I can use that for this, and I have this philosophy of the words are all there. I don't have to invent any words, and they will come to me when I'm ready for them. So I'll start. This last album was interesting. Like I love all my lyrics, but and I work hard at them and I rewrite them, And Dean Sargent and Michael Hennigan, the producers, they're both songwriters in their own right. So that's nice to have them there. Between all of us, I think we have over 200 years of songwriting experience. Usually songwriters you can get a little wordy. And when you go to sing the thing, it doesn't sing quite as nice. So editing that out to make it sing well. So he helps me with that kind of stuff. And then we've co-written things. He's come up with the ideas and I've finished them. Sometimes he comes up with the music. Sometimes he'll come up with a song title. Queen of Pittsburgh was his song. That was his idea. I didn't want to do it originally.
Why not? What was the?
Because
it's an awesome title, Queen of Pittsburgh. I mean that says it all. Teddy.
It's a marketing thing right there. It's I didn't. And I've gotten interviews and done podcasts with people just because they wondered who the hell is this? The Queen of Pittsburgh.
That's what got my attention.
And I thought, the hate is going to be coming because the local people are going to be like, oh my God, now she thinks she's the Queen of Pittsburgh. That's not it at all. If you know the song, it's like, I'm not going to stop kicking ass until they make me the Queen.
That's right.
And then again, it's the Queen of Pittsburgh. It's not the Queen of England, for God's sake. So it's like the Queen of Poughkeepsie.
That would be a different group.
Who cares? Get over it. And I love Pittsburgh. So somebody has to be the Queen of Pittsburgh. Yeah, it could be me. I live downtown. I'm an ambassador for our city. I love Pittsburgh. You should come and visit. We had this Pittsburgh theme, okay, and we recorded all the basic tracks up in Reading, Pennsylvania, at a state-of-the-art studio there, Spiro's Modern Music, that Dean, my producer, helped design and build. And he worked there for a while. So we needed some more songs. And I decided to write another shuffle, blues shuffle, because, a few years ago, I learned how to play a shuffle properly. Not everybody can. So I'm like the queen of shuffles now. I spent a whole year where my focus was playing shuffle beats, where I sat with the metronomes and different books and different types of shuffle beats and tried to master shuffles. And so now I can play them and I love them. So I wrote When You're From Pittsburgh. The original title for that was the Pittsburgh Shuffle. But when you're thinking of Spotify and people searching the song, when they hear that song, they're not going to say Pittsburgh Shuffle because there's no lyric in there that says Pittsburgh. When You're From Pittsburgh is the chorus, right?
It's amazing what you learn in this modern era of music, right? Of how important a title is. Same thing with the podcast or a blog. Is it searchable?
Right, exactly.
Looking forward, do you think there'll be another album in your future?
Yeah, I'm going to start recording again this year.
Nice.
I have a couple songs, and I don't know if we'll do an album per se, because now everything's single oriented. So I'm going to release the Queen of Pittsburgh song as a single, and I'm going to do a video of that. I try to write hit singles. So every song, I don't have fluff, and I don't write the same song twice. So every song on my album is unique and could be a single and could be a video, because I write stories a lot of times, and my songs lend themselves to music videos that way. So I've been promoting this album now for a while. So the next thing is, we're going to do this Queen of Pittsburgh video. And then after that, I already have like a couple songs I'm ready to record. I have to teach it to the guys. And I have some titles and I have some ideas, that I'm mulling over for other songs too. So it might end up being an album.
Mm-hmm. I love it. 2022 seems very creative. And I'm completely inspired by your dedication to your craft. And I'm sure the folks that are listening are inspired by a life well lived that still has so much more in front of it. So thank you so much again for being here. Really appreciate your time today.
Well, I appreciate you. And I love your podcast. And I'm a listener now. So that's great.
Excellent. I love it. Thank you so much. I'll be thinking of when I record these now of you on the treadmill somewhere in Pittsburgh. So that's perfect. Thank you, Teddy.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I know there are many ways you can spend your time. Thank you for choosing to spend it with me. Until our paths cross again, be kind to yourself and show your warrior spirit some love. If you know anyone who could benefit from today's episode, please pass it on. And many thanks for supporting the show by subscribing and leaving a review. It means a lot, and it helps others find their way to our circle. If you'd like to access the show notes, have a question you'd like addressed on a future episode, or would like a transcript of this episode, visit www.athenawellness.com/podcast. Until next time, be well.